and not directed to individual council members. City Clerk, are there any registered speakers?
Yes, Mayor, there are two.
Mayor, so we have two speakers today for closed session. The first is Judith McPherson, and following her is Matt McPherson. I did note that Ms. McPherson listed trash CR&R as her topic. We are not talking about trash or CR&R in closed session today. And Mr. McPherson, I think you noted Lionel Martinez video. We will not be speaking about the Lionel Martinez video in closed session either, but I figured they're here, so I'll give you the public comment cards. There.
So go forward.
Yeah, why not?
May I have Judy McPherson at the, oh, you're there already. You're quick.
I'm ready. I'm
All
not
right.
tardy ever.
All right.
Is this on?
I hear you.
You can hear me. Okay, good evening. I'm speaking to you to
Your
discuss.
flashlight's on.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's my. Okay, but wait. Okay, there, I didn't lose it. Okay, I am speaking to you this evening to discuss CR&R requirements per the contract between the City of Hemet and CR&R. Do you recall a few months ago, a man who approached this podium with a small shopping bag, and he said that was all the trash that he collected in about 2 weeks?
The pizza man.
And he was angry because he had to pay the regular monthly fee for CR&R, even though he didn't have any trash to dispose of. Now, he is not allowed to simply dispose into a neighbor's trash. He has to have his own service and pay the monthly fee. And this is true for all residential, and I would think commercial. Now, to the commercial, as you know, there's a property owner downtown who owns multiple parcels in the downtown area. We own 3, and we were sent a letter by Charles Russell a couple years ago that we were required to show proof of 3 separate contracts with CR&R, even though all 3 parcels are contiguous and owned by us. And the dumpsters are all in our private parking lot. However, the law and the contract with CR&R is not being applied fairly, in my opinion. One property owner has been disposing of construction material from 6 to 7 different active open building permit sites, loading into the back of the construction worker's truck, driven over to Front Street to be disposed of in the dumpster that's in the city enclosure on city property, mixed in with the trash from downtown Delhi, Michael's Salon, Mike Williams Salon, and other businesses there. My question is, why does this happen from sites that are 1 to 2 blocks away? And not only that, there is law and code that requires that in the event of a construction project, because we know from experience that it is a requirement there is a separate dumpster or bin placed on the construction site to properly and in an environmentally sound manner dispose of those materials. Because when those are disposed of, I believe they go to a different area of the landfill in Riverside County, and it is overseen by some water source or groundwater oversight. I don't know the exact name of the agency. I did not look it up this afternoon, but I have seen it. Okay, now the property owner says that they pay for the trash service so they can do whatever they want with the dumpsters. No, this is an environmental issue, and we don't know, is there asbestos leaving those projects and going over mixed in with the debris from the sandwich shop or from the hair salon? And, it's red, I'm sorry. But what I am saying is that poor man that talked about he had to pay the bill. Why don't I'm asking now that we be able to pay one bill and we'll just put all of our trash together. And I encourage City of Hemet residents to ask for the same unless the law is applied and the contract fairly. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Sir, sit down, please. You haven't been called. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Matt McPherson, please.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager. Thanks for listening to me, especially before closed session. I got to get back to our Padre Dodger game tonight, so I want to get home and catch that. Reason I'm coming to the podium is I made several FOIA requests, public information requests regarding a certain video. I detailed who was in the video, who made the video, and upon 3 requests, the city was unable to produce the video. Well, this afternoon I found the video. It was actually on YouTube. Somebody reposted it, and I've been listening to it all day. And it includes Lionel Martinez, the questionable code officer, um, Simon Chu's business partner, Jason Strain. It looks like they hired a guy from Beaumont or Banning, Mike Lara, to be some kind of consultant for him. And also one of Simon Chu's staff, Debbie Chilson, is in on it. It's a Zoom meeting, and I need to watch it again. It's an hour and 20 minutes long, but I lost count how many times Lionel's giving legal advice as to why he wasn't doing his job and doing what he was told by his superiors, as he would constantly cite legal and, oh, if you ask the judge, this is what they'll say, and oh, and if you do this, then it'll libel the city, and on. And I didn't know Lionel was an attorney or had any legal training, but it explains a lot why he kind of drug his feet in enforcing some of the code and why it wasn't enforced for years. And then he mentions his brother, who works for Simon as an engineer, which is kind of enlightening. But I did email John Mayer a copy of the video. I'm sure you all can take a look at it tonight after the council meeting if you haven't seen it already. But it is extremely enlightening and sheds some light on our argument with Simon Chu and some of the stuff that's been going on with city staff and code enforcement. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Council will now proceed to closed sessions. Thank you for joining us. A report of closed session will occur after the deliberations. I know. Malcolm, we're good evening. I would like to call the October 8th, 2024 regular city council meeting to order. I would like to point out that this meeting is being hosted through live stream on the city's website. I would like to remind council to have their microphones turned on and positioned so the audience can hear. City Clerk, may we have roll call, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Kendrick.
Here.
Councilmember Krupa.
Here.
Councilmember Lilienthal.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Peterson.
Here.
Mayor Males.
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you, sir. The invocation today will be by, since Christian Tikas is up, Christian Tikas, and after which Mayor Pro Tem Peterson will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Please stand. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this evening. We ask for your guidance, your wisdom, and just the knowledge that is needed to conduct business for your city, Father. Just be with us, give us a proper discernment, and also just keep our hearts open to the things that we need to discuss here. In Jesus' name, amen.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will move to the city attorney's report from closed session. City Attorney, can we get a report out?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. There's no reportable action out of tonight's closed session.
Thank you, City Attorney. We will now move to public comment. I turned off my mic.
All right, the first speaker for public comment tonight is Larry Tucker.
Larry Tucker, please.
Following Mr. Tucker is Stephen Patrice. Stephen Patrick. There you go, Mayor.
Oh.
This is Larry Tucker, and I'm fighting the city council about that In-N-Out Burger down there. I almost got run over again today down there. I've been run over twice down there now. Why can't we do something about stopping the In-N-Out Burger from parking on the sidewalks where our public's got to go? That's our right to go down a public walkway without getting run over. But you guys don't seem to think that's not our right. Over in Santa Cinta, I got seriously hurt. You know what they told me? We ought to take all your handicapped people out and blow your brains out. I hope that never happens here. I really do. We put you in office to protect us and fight for us, not fight for your rights, not fight for your ability to beat us up. The city manager over there, I don't know why he don't get our own bus of it. I mean, I've already called several different people, and you can get financial up to $1 million to get a bus service here for dollar wide. Why don't you do that? Get rid of RTA. Get them out of here. Bring our own bus service in. Why? You guys don't want that money? I would if I was in council. The only reason why I'm not running for council is because I'm dying of cancer. If I wasn't, I would have ran this time. And I had 1,800 votes already. And I could have walked in there with no problem. But I don't want to be in there. I can't live there long enough to change. If I'm not going to be able to change nothing, there's nothing for me to be there for. So why don't you, if you get reelected, which I'm fighting against all three of you not to get reelected. I got everything on the internet. They're not elect you. because you guys ain't doing nothing for us. You're doing it all for yourself. You were doing it for us, we wouldn't be here tonight on this warehouse thing. We don't need the pollution washing. We don't need more sidewalks. It's not fixed for wheelchairs. We don't need to have babies, children, baby strollers because you don't want to change the rules about people parking on sidewalks. We don't need that. I mean, I'm in a wheelchair. You know, a guy jumped out of the car over there at Popeyes, and I won't say the nasty words. He says, "You cripples ought to be," and all the heck. Hey, yeah, I'm a cripple, but you don't know how I became one. And I'm not a cripple like it says in the dictionary. A cripple in the dictionary means you're crazy, and I'm not crazy yet. Maybe I'll get in there, but I'm not there. But anyway, I don't know. I really want. I'd like to see more women in office. I'm not voting for Harris. I'll tell you that out front. And I really don't want to vote for Donald Trump, but I have no choice. But the thing is, I'd rather have a woman president, but not Harris. Because I think women have more feeling for what's happening in the world and men do. And believe me, I'm 72 years old, and I know how much feeling I do not have. And I hate a lot of people, but that go out here and hurt people because I hate them, that's not right.
Hey, Larry, you've exceeded your time by
All
34
right,
seconds. Thank you, sir.
Have a good night.
You too. Stephen Patrick, please.
After Mr. Patrick is Deidre Hampton. Feel free to line up.
Good evening, council members. I moved here 8 years ago to the Del Webb community from Carlsbad. And back then, 8 years ago, Hemet seemed like a nice little town, slower paced. And, you know, it was nice to get out of the rat race of San Diego County. And I never thought that 8 years later, I'd be standing in front of the council asking you to stop the warehouses. There's a couple of them a couple sites, they're already going up. It's too late to stop those. But Mayor Males, they're all in your district.
No, no, they're not.
Well, okay, well, a lot of them are anyway.
None of them.
Oh, I live in your district and there's one going up, supposed to go up on Simpson. So I'd like to see that one stopped.
My district south of Stetson.
Okay, well, okay. So anyway, my backyard faces Warren. So I'm wondering, and I know you guys can't necessarily say anything right now, but are you going to allow truck traffic down Warren between Florida and Simpson? Because the documentation for that Simpson warehouse says that they expect to operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's a lot of traffic. I'm also wondering if that bridge, the overpass that connects Warren to Dominigoni, that doesn't look like that's going to be expanded. So where's all the truck traffic going to be going? How are they going to get in and out of the warehouse? So I have a lot of concerns with truck traffic right in the Del Webb neighborhood. And I would hope that you would take a moment to rethink these warehouses and put a stop to them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Deidre Hampton, please.
I have a nonprofit. I house the homeless and mentally ill. I'm gonna start off with good news. In a short period of time, just this month, we was able to house 3 men and 1 family. Tonight, I just brought one guy with me to take it easy on you guys because of the event that's coming up this week. So I'm gonna stall y'all out. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, first thing Monday morning, I'm coming at you guys really hard to get some help in housing and helping me find a building, whatever is needed, so we can get some of the homeless people off the streets. I don't know why nothing is being done. You guys keep playing games with the homeless community. They're going to get very upset. I'm just letting you guys know that's the words that's out there. So you guys need to be able to help us to help the homeless to get them a place to stay and to get off the streets. It is possible because I've shown you. You have other people in the audience that has homes as well. They're showing you it can be done. I just don't understand why you guys just don't give us a chance to show you that we can make a difference. You ready?
Pedra, I gave you my business card to and I asked you to call me and you never did. I gave you my business card with my business cell phone on it,
I've been very busy this month because my mother, I
Okay.
just buried her Friday.
but you're acting like we haven't done anything. I
No,
gave you my
I-
card for you to call me and you never did.
Okay, I'm telling you why. I had personal things going on this month. My mother just buried my mother Friday. So I had a lot of things that was going on with me mentally. But
Mm.
I'll get to you and we'll talk.
Well, I hope so.
Good afternoon. My name is Martin Karen. I was trained by the Braille Institute and some instructors on how to basically take care of myself. Very mentally astute. I am a legally blind person, practically since birth. And I have run across my share of troubles. Normally, I've lived alone, taking care of myself, but I'll run into some trouble. I've been on and off the street a little, but not a lot. She would like constructive assistance if at all possible. And I'm open for vocals and singing. I'm already known around the area a couple decades back. Again, thank you. And
Thank you. Gotta get it back to you. Excuse me. Gary Larned. Larned.
Next speaker is Sonia Lamas.
Okay, I don't even see her. Is she here? She must be. All right, let me have it.
Yes, Mayor Maylees. I'm just here for the, you've already got the red light on me?
Oh. Go ahead.
Quick.
You're done.
I just want to talk about Casa Loca. We're having our soft opening tomorrow for an hour, from 7 to 8. And if you go online to the Troop of Lost Souls .com, you can get tickets for $5 as opposed to the regular 10. So, but we have, like I said, our soft opening starts tomorrow for 1 hour, and then we regularly open up on Thursday. So this is on the corner of Stetson and Girard at the Center for Spiritual Living. So they've allowed us to be there for the last 3 years. So we're having a good time there. And it's a good scare. So when you come, don't worry about not being scared, because you probably will be. But we have a good time, and I hope you guys will have a good time too. Our tagline this year is where nightmares come true. But I have some extra flyers if anybody would like one.
Thank you, Mr. Larned.
Thank you.
Sonia Lamas.
Next speaker is Ernesto Alvarado.
Good evening to all councils. Thank you for allowing me this time. I just want to take the time to acknowledge the city for its extraordinary support this year with the Dia de los Muertos. All the local authority teams have been amazing. We did a little commercial yesterday with Ben, and that was pretty cool. I'm not one that likes to go on social media that way, but I did. Took me out of my comfort zone. But most importantly, we want to embrace the Dia de los Muertos. You know, as you know, it's our Mexican culture and heritage. One of the things that we like to do this year that we haven't done or we haven't really implemented it is really invite the community to come out and help us build this altar in honor of those that are no longer with us. So with that being said, please join us November 1st. It will take place on the west side of the library, behind the library on North Harvard. Currently, we're at about 52 vendors combined between the local authority, nonprofits, and just craft and food vendors. But we're also going to be displaying a vintage art, I guess a vintage car art display. So we'll be doing a little top 5 on the cars as well. Food vendors, face painters, you name it. It's a big festival. Please join us. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Ernesto Alvarado.
Next speaker is Hillary Ross.
All right, with all the fires that are taking place, the fires in Maui, the hurricane that flooded North Carolina, as well as the ones currently taking place, people are waking up to the fact that many of these things are man-made disasters. They're waking up to the fact that their own government is creating havoc to further their agendas and line their pockets with money. 2 years ago, I noticed a few events that opened my eyes to the fact that everything is staged. Events surrounding my former employer, UNFI, March Air Reserve Base, the Riverside County Fire Department, and the Riverside County Sheriff's Department. One of them being March Air Reserve Base trying to intimidate me by intercepting a letter that was sent to me by UNFI after they ran me off the premises. Today, I'm not going to focus on that issue, but I am going to give an example of how they operate using the fire department as an example. Last year, I was being followed around by fire truck number 4373. After some investigating, I found that it was from Fresno, Battalion 13, which from the last time I checked, it's vacant. I was told by the CAL FIRE Professional Standards Program that they were in fact in the area and that by filing a complaint, they could investigate. And they sent me a form. So on June 11th, I sent them a form and my requested remedy was, quote, a public apology to the residents of Riverside County, non-negotiable. It is because of the numerous fires that have taken place in this state, along with the flooding that occurs as a result when the rains hit due to the previous burns, that many insurance agencies are denying Californians coverage, and those that are fortunate enough to not have their policies dropped are seeing a significant increase in rates. They responded that the nature of my concern was not the type of misconduct that they investigate, and they closed it off. Now, I let them know before I even filed that complaint what this was about. This complaint included information about another fire truck that was following me around earlier this year, in which I filed another complaint after first being told that it was under Riverside County Fire jurisdiction, then being told it's under Hemet, City of Hemet jurisdiction. I filed a complaint with the City of Hemet August 16th. They denied it, saying that it was late because I turned it in on the 20th, which was a lie. After proving my point, they turned around and they said, we don't have jurisdiction. So I'm being told different stuff here. Everybody keeps trying to avoid responsibility. I filed a lawsuit against Riverside County Sheriff's Department, Riverside County Fire, and others. And in that lawsuit, I say once again, this is pure cruelty and extremely unusual in that even firefighters that are not even from the county have stalked me, as well as the local military base intercepting my letter from UNFI to make a point. The actions taken against me on July 7, 2023, which I don't have time to explain right now, made it clear that the entire county was playing their part. This is called governmental compartmentalization, where each department plays a small part so as to avoid suspicion. Another request for relief from them, a public apology to the residents of Riverside County for terrorizing them by inducing fear through their false flag operations and destroying their property in the process. I filed this complaint July 29th, and it's going through screening right now. It's been 2.5 months, and they still haven't responded to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alvarado. Hillary Ross.
Next speaker is Irene Reyes.
Thank you for the opportunity to present my opposition to adding more warehouses, especially the Newland Simpson warehouse, as I live approximately 1/2 to 3/4 of a mile from the proposed warehouse and less than a football field from Warren Road. Hemet is a quiet, rural residential community that has attracted many seniors and other people looking for a quiet, clean, unpolluted place to live. People have been attracted to Hemet for its clean air, light traffic, and relatively affordable housing. Bringing ultra-humongous warehouses into our small town will destroy the very essence of our community. The pollution, the noise, the traffic congestion, and the road damage are an awful price to pay for some low-paying jobs, which will be replaced in the very foreseeable future by automation. It will destroy our property values. Why would anyone want to buy a home here when there's thousands of diesel truck trips a day crowding our main roads? Many of our seniors already have serious health issues that will be exacerbated by the pollution. What about the health of our children and young people breathing the pollution from these diesel trucks? Do you want this as your legacy to the citizens of Hemet? What about the damage to our roads? Who's going to pay for that? Warehouses don't produce sales tax. Retail businesses do. Council members, I beg of you, do not approve additional warehouses. Look for other clean, revenue-producing businesses that will enhance the ambience and services to the people of Hemet. Please, no more warehouses in Hemet. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Irene Reyes.
Next speaker is Shaul Rosenroger.
Sure.
Good evening, Mayor Males and City Council members. My name is Irene Reyes, and I live in the Del Webb community, West Hemet. I am here to express my concerns regarding the proposed Newland Simpson and Hemet Logistics West mega warehouses. Hemet Logistic West project on Costin and Acacia is approximately 3.5 miles from my community. Newland Simpson project is 1.5 miles from my community. Our Del Webb community consists of 570 homes with 55 plus residents. Many of us are cancer survivors, myself included, and we depend on a healthy environment. To the south and north of us are two brand new residential communities still selling homes to young families seeking affordable housing in Hemet. The demographics of Hemet has changed. We are now blending retirees with a younger generation, all with the same goal in mind, to live a productive life in a healthful, safe environment. However, now there is a proposed master plan for mega warehouses to be constructed and operated within 1 to 2 miles from our homes. We residents do not take home ownership lightly. For the retired residents of the Del Webb, we have worked in successful careers and have now come together as retired professionals who give back to the community any way we can. Our Veterans Club at our Del Webb is supporting the Hemet PD Trunk or Treat, and we're collecting candy for the kids. And I, myself, and several of us in my community volunteer for Hemet PD. I volunteer in this building here, and we're all trying to give back the best way we can. We maintain our homes with love, care, and pride. We support the city of Hemet. We shop here. We frequent the local restaurants. Please do not discount the residents of West Hemet. I fully support the young families buying homes in Hemet as they attempt to make a better life for their families. We have a wonderful superintendent of Hemet Unified School District, Dr. Christy Barrett, whom I worked with in the past, and she's really raising the bar for the education of our kids. I have so much hope for the city. Historically, Hemet was not a desired community in which to live. For years, Hemet had held a bad reputation for high crime, low socioeconomic status, and homelessness. I've lived in the Inland Empire for 40 years now, and this was the reputation Hemet had. But there are those of us who took a chance on Hemet. There are those of us who gave it a chance to change, to get involved and make Hemet better. Hemet has made great strides. Folks are moving here. Folks are buying homes here. Please don't take us backwards. I don't have to reiterate all the ugly facts about the mega warehouses, the negativity, the impact of construction, pollution, ground ozone, nitrous oxide, brake dust, all leading to unhealthful environmental conditions, the traffic, the trucks. But developers are known for building these warehouses in poor, marginalized cities. Warehouses are a reality. That's a fact. But I implore you, as elected officials of the city, do not please do not bring these concrete structures into our city. Let's make it better. Thank you.
Thank you. Shaw Rosenrager.
Next speaker is Kathy Caraher.
Good evening, council members and mayor. I was really surprised to hear that only at this phase in the development, the residents of Del Webb are discovering that there is a warehouse planned right down the street from them. I think it's your job to think about your community. Why is it a secret? Why don't they know about it? It's true that legally you can, the developer and the city is required to only notify people within a certain distance. I'm not sure if it's 300 feet or 500 feet or so many yards. But don't you feel like you need to be more open about this and let people know what's going on? I mean, why is it my job to talk to people? You were elected to represent your community. Let them know what's going on. Don't keep those secrets. I want to read a few things about one of the pollutants of diesel trucks called PM 2.5. PM 2.5 is so small that it is largely invisible and therefore is less noticeable when compared to smog from the 1970s. Atmospheric chemists often quip that if 2.5 were pink, we would already have a solution for it. For now, it remains an invisible killer. Recently, one study showed that otherwise healthy teenagers have higher rates of irregular heartbeats after breathing PM 2.5. Heart arrhythmias increase the risk of heart disease, and according to the study, can be triggered even when air pollution is within common air quality limits. This mirrors findings of increased arrhythmias in adult populations. In 2020, historic first, a London coroner ruled that air pollution was the cause of a 9-year-old girl's death. Particulates are extremely damaging to the respiratory system, especially those of a smaller size. When it comes to damaging human bodies, PM10 acts as a contributing factor, but it is the smaller molecular size of PM 2.5 or smaller that can penetrate the lungs and enter the bloodstream and bypass the blood-brain barrier and the placental barrier. The particles can act as microscopic shrapnel as they circulate within the bloodstream, damaging organ systems and ultimately leaving behind immune-compromised humans. And I can go on and on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shaw. Kathy Karasher.
Next speaker is Sharon Nguyen.
I want to make sure everybody could hear me because I've had a hard time hearing some of these people talk because I don't know, the ones in our community, you have to put them right up to your mouth to talk. But anyway, I'm from the Solara Diamond Valley Del Webb community, and I have just recently found out about this warehouse project that's going in next to our community on Simpson Warren Road. And I drove by and saw the construction that started over on Kirby. When I looked at it and realized that it went from Kirby clear over to Stetson in its plan, it looks like maybe 3 different buildings there. I started thinking there's homes all around this area. I live on the southwest corner of Hemet, and when we get wind and things that come across up the valley from the wind comes all the way up from San Diego, comes into the Murrieta area, Menifee area, comes up to us, and they're going to be bringing all that wind will come through the warehouse area during construction, which will probably be for quite a while. And like Sol was saying, Rachel was saying that, the particulate matters are really important to me because I am just suffering even this fall from the amount of smoke in the air. And I've had substantial results from that that are really bothering me, making it difficult for me to do things. I also want to know how we're supposed to get to Dominagoni Freeway after these places are done, because both Sanderson and Warren both are 2 routes to get to Dominagoni, and it's going to be full of trucks. The pollution that's in the soil over at the Simpson area is been farmed for over 100 years. There's probably DDT, all the other chemicals that the farm people have put into that soil. I've watched them for years put fresh manure. They call it green manure, but to me, green is a questionable word because as a gardener myself, I always termed green to mean product that is aged so that it's safe for putting on your soil, whereas green also means, as far as manure goes, that it's fresh out of the cow. And so therefore it's not been seasoned or anything. We went through a lot of smell with that. The flies were horrible. And so we've had enough over in our little corner of the community. And considering the tax base that we have with our community, I think we have a good say in what happens in our corner of the world. Also, I would also like to say, I heard the comment about the In-N-Out burger situation. I've driven down Florida and I come up to this, all of a sudden cars at a stop. And so I think that's for a safety reason really needs to be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Sharon Nguyen?
Yes, good evening, council members and mayor. I don't talk in public very well, so I'm very nervous. So this is very important to me. I'm here to speak on the warehouses too and against them. 12 years ago, my husband and I moved here from Atlanta to get away from the traffic. Was a big incentive for us, and we love Hemet. We met some folks at, Buffalo Wild Wings one night when we were trying to figure out whether or not to move here. And it was a young couple, they were teachers here, and they said, "What are you doing here?" And we said, "We're trying to figure out whether to move to Hemet." We were looking at the Del Webb community, and they go, "Why Hemet?" Well, that was understandable. They're young, but Hemet is such a good, growing community with friendly people. They open doors for you. We're very proud to live here. We're proud of all the houses that are coming in around us, the young families, because they're bringing new life into our communities. So I just want to say, Mayor Mayo was at Seven Hills last night and talked about grandchildren, that he wants, to have a good life here. Well, if I wanted to bring my grandchildren here, they're all out on the East Coast. If the warehouses come in, I wouldn't want to. And that's a sad thing, I think. Also, what the mayor started out with was and if I get any facts wrong, please correct me, but it was about the money that had to be spent for the employees to be brought up, the city employees to be brought up to the same salary standard as the rest of the country. Well, if this was a way of saying we needed a short-term fix by bringing in the warehouses, I think we need to think again, because we're not thinking long-term. Like Hillary said, is that the legacy you want to leave as a council member? And lastly, just a question, I know you can't answer it, but my husband and I were looking at the warehouse on Kirby, and the mayor had said last night there would be no trucks on Acacia and Kirby allowed. And if we did see them do the see, click, fix, which is a wonderful thing for reporting things. So the only way we could figure out the trucks could leave to go to the interstate would either be on Florida or go down Sanderson, Sanderson to get to Dominagoni. If that's the case, and I may be wrong, we're just trying to figure it out. If that's the case, it would be a disaster. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Cheryl Pierce.
And then the last speaker, Mayor, would be Roy Fales.
Who?
Roy.
You get 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Good evening to all of you and Mayor. And I've spoken to you before, but it's been a few months ago and you probably forgot my very sad story. And it sounds so much like almost everybody here said so much the same thing because it's so true. There's no mistake about it. We know what the warehouse is going to do for us. I live at the Lakes of Hemet West. I moved here 8 years ago. I'm from Northern California. I am part of the TLC service at the lakes. So we take care of people that have medical issues. And so that's part of the service that I do for our community. Lakes of Hemet West is my extended family. I care very deeply about them. As far as the impact on that warehouse, it will be immediately outside our bedroom. How will that affect our lives? Well, my husband sleeps in the other room and the cat sleeps with me, but I don't think we're going to get a lot of sleep with the warehouse going on. I think that's going to be too big of an impact. For breathing, I'm not going to be able to breathe. I am on a CPAP machine, but it's going to have a definite impact on me. We came here because I needed surgery. I've been through 2 and I have 2 more pending. I'm not going to do well when those warehouses start getting built and I have to go through that surgery process. We are under new ownership. I believe the mayor already knows that. And the new owners are putting in new mobile homes for us and they have some extra money. What's going to end up happening with that extra money? They're going to help to see if they can stop this warehouse in whatever way, and I'm sure they've already probably talked with you about that. We know we don't need any more warehouses, and you can hear this from everybody in our lovely little city. So it's not new information. You know the impact on it, and we're just begging and pleading with you to see what you can do as an option. We understand that money is very important to the city. I was an entrepreneur all my working life, and so I know how important that is to you. And we just ask you to respect what we need to have too for the rest of our lives. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Roy Fales. 6 minutes. Time's ticking. Okay. Okay, good. Go ahead and start. Start it.
I'm not getting any.
I pushed everything in.
Is it in now?
Yeah, it's in.
No.
Yeah. Let me unplug it and go the other way.
Ta-da. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Hemet City Council. My name is Roy Fales. I live at the Lakes at Hemet West, an over 55 retirement community. We share our eastern property line with the proposed massive warehouse project that is being considered for the 66 acres right next to us, literally 5 feet from my bedroom. I know you have received a myriad of negative responses to this project. I received these letters after filing a FOIA request from the City Records Office. They sent me 419 pages of negative responses to this. I received these letters. They sent me 419 pages. There's only 418 here because there was only one person who was in favor of this project. The developer's own consultant noted 67 serious issues that would end any project. The environmental report is not out yet, but 3 recently proposed warehouse projects in the Inland Empire have been ended due to the issues. How they will negatively impact the environment and health of those living nearby. These include Bloomington, Banning, and Moreno Valley. All were ended regarding issues with the environmental impact reports. The state of California has recently passed a new law severely restricting warehouses being built in California due to environmental issues. Under the new law, the design and location of this project would be illegal to approve and build. These include traffic issues, noise, health issues, and just plain don't build them in the wrong place. The problem with the new law is there is a loophole that 1,000 semi-trucks could drive through. The law does not take effect until January 26. This bill was introduced and voted for by the majority of the California legislature and signed by Governor Newsom. The people were elected by tens of millions of California residents who voted for them to be their voices. The people spoke and the legislature listened to them. Now, I have met with each of you and discussed your plans to increase revenue for our city, and I find them commendable. You're very good people. There is a solution to this issue that would greatly increase the revenue for the city that must be considered. The Lakes at Hemet West was recently purchased by a major company that owns over 250 manufactured home parks in the U.S. Their annual profits are over $250 million a year, and they have a very good reputation. They've already made application to the Planning Commission to build 60 new manufactured homes on the land they own right in front of the property, right on Florida Avenue. Now, my understanding is they're kind of looking to the right there where this 66 acres is, which would be an absolutely perfect place for them to put in another 500 new homes on the site of the proposed warehouse project. This would bring 500 plus new families to Hemet. The nice thing about seniors, they don't drive semi-trucks. They have one of the lowest crime rates. They shop locally and purchase over $2 million worth of groceries annually based on national averages for 500 two-person families. They also shop locally. They will buy their gasoline here. They will frequent local restaurants here. They will buy their new clothes here. They will buy their new patio furniture here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Warehouses don't generate sales tax. The amount of taxes received here will be greatly higher than any warehouse that doesn't collect sales tax could ever do. Keep in mind that the city of Hemet will only receive 25% of the taxes from the warehouses due an agreement with the county of Riverside, according to the agreement we made when we annexed this property. We will get 100% of the allotment for the 500 plus families shopping in Hemet proper. There has already been a proposal put before the Planning Commission to expand the Lakes at Hemet West to the property directly in front of the park. There will be excellent revenue from the sale of these new homes. Think of the sale for 500 new homes. The warehouse is requesting that the city change the zoning from commercial to industrial, one of the specific things outlawed by the new legislation. You can easily change the zoning to residential for the new homes. Please look at the proposal. I am confident you will act in the best interests of the residents of the city of Hemet. Thank you for letting me have the extra time to speak tonight.
Thank you.
Mayor, that concludes all of our public comments under item 13. And so I think we're ready to move on to 14 presentations.
Presentations, okay. Thank you, sir. Okay, Councilmember Krupa, do you have the Hindu proclamation? Okay, great. Our first proclamation for Hindu Heritage Month will be presented by Councilmember Krupa to Rakesh and Neelam Gupta with Om Spiritual Center. I hope I got it all right. Where are they?
No, we didn't receive confirmation that they were going to be here tonight. Unfortunately, Councilmember Krupa and Mayor, we did reach out to them, but they didn't confirm their attendance tonight.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, certainly.
The next two proclamations for Sheltered Pathways and World Homeless Day will be presented by Councilmember. Here, I'll give it to you. Whoops, I'll let you do it. Councilmember Malcolm Lilienthal and Mayor Pro Tem Jackie Peterson. No, just let him go.
Thank you, Mayor.
Welcome, Malcolm. Council member.
Whereas Sheltered Pathways has consistently demonstrated visionary leadership and tireless dedication to addressing homelessness, poverty, and social inequality within the San Jacinto Valley, and whereas through innovative programs, community outreach, and collaborative partnerships, Sheltered Pathways has become a beacon of hope for individuals and families experiencing homelessness, offering critical services that create a bridge to stability, self-sufficiency, and renewed hope. And whereas Sheltered Pathways has pioneered a holistic approach, combining immediate support like meals and temporary housing with long-term resources such as job training, mental health services, and veteran support, making a profound and lasting impact on the lives of countless people in our community. And whereas the organization's commitment to inclusivity, dignity, and community empowerment has positioned Sheltered Pathways as a trailblazing catalyst for change, setting a powerful example for others in the region and beyond. And whereas the City of Hemet is proud to honor Sheltered Pathways for its unwavering dedication to bettering the lives of our most vulnerable residents and for its pivotal role in fostering a more resilient, compassionate, and connected San Jacinto Valley. Now, therefore, Joe Males, Mayor of Hemet, on behalf of the City Council and the citizens of Hemet, do hereby recognize Sheltered Pathways as a trailblazing catalyst for change in the San Jacinto Valley and extend a heartfelt gratitude to Carol Givens and Patricia McClure for their outstanding contributions to our community.
Not over yet.
I would like to thank you guys so much for trusting us to host this event. We've already just started some great work and we can't wait to continue. I want to say that we have we have over 100 participants that are pre-registered, and it's not just unhoused that are registered. We have low-income families that are registered. We have single parents, we have seniors, and even veterans that have registered for the event. We have 70 confirmed vendors or community partners signed up. So we're extremely proud of this event, and we have so much resources for unhoused, for veterans, for seniors, and for just everyone in the community. So we invite you guys to come out and join us, and if not for anything, come get some free food.
Everything she said, again, we just want to empathize. Thank you so much for this.
Don't go yet. Stand up there and get a picture.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Come
part
on,
of this.
Kristen. Yeah. Yes, please.
Malcolm, where are you going?
Yes, thank you guys again, and we look forward to everyone coming out on Thursday.
Don't go anywhere. No, okay.
And I would like to give a thank you to Christian Tikas for all the hard work and dedication he has done for our city. Since he has been here, we have seen transformative care all throughout Hemet. He has done a wonderful job. I appreciate him for everything he does and your commitment to helping us out and supporting the community as the Community Solutions Coordinator. Thank you, Christian.
Honored.
Okay, and along with that, this time, this week, as they said, we're doing a special event, and it's for World Homeless Day. And in honor of that, we have a special proclamation. So whereas World Homeless Day, observed annually on October 10th, serves as a vital reminder of the challenges faced by millions of people experiencing homelessness across the globe. And homelessness affects individuals and families from all walks of life, and addressing this crisis requires compassion, collaboration, and a commitment to providing accessible resources and support for those in need. Whereas the City of Hemet recognizes the importance of raising awareness about homelessness while also advocating for solutions that promote dignity, safety, and the potential for every person to thrive. Whereas community organizations, service providers, and dedicated volunteers in Hemet work tirelessly to uplift the unhoused population, offering essential services, meals, shelter, and pathways to stability and self-sufficiency. And by acknowledging October 10th as World Homeless Day, the City of Hemet reinforces its commitment to working toward an inclusive community where every resident has access to safe housing and supportive services. Now, therefore, Joe Males, Mayor of Hemet, on behalf of the City Council and the citizens of Hemet, do hereby proclaim October 10th, 2024 as World Homeless Day. And we encourage all citizens to reflect on the importance of compassionate support for our unhoused neighbors and to actively participate in efforts to address homelessness in our community. Presented October 8th, 2024. Thank you.
Hold the proclamation up. The last proclamation for Water Professional Appreciation Week will be presented by Councilmember Kendrick to Public Works Director, City Engineer Noah Rao, and Water Wastewater Superintendent Travis Holyoke. Hope I got the names right. Where's Travis?
Hey, Travis. Hi, Noah.
Oh.
Whereas water is the lifeblood of the city of Hemet, and without safe and reliable water, no community and no sector of the economy, from high-tech to manufacturing to agriculture, can thrive or expand. And whereas no more than ever, the water industry is proud of the important role our essential workers play in making sure our communities have safe and reliable drinking water. And whereas, thanks to technological advances by highly skilled and trained water professionals and the dedication of thousands of industry professionals in the state, California drinking water and treated wastewater meets some of the most stringent water quality standards in the nation. And whereas the City of Hemet and local water agencies collaborate to meet the needs of the community's water, wastewater, and recycled water requirements. Whereas Water Professional Appreciation Week is intended to highlight the important role of the water industry professionals and local public water agencies in ensuring safe and reliable water, wastewater, and recycled water in California. And whereas the City of Hemet appreciates the care put into the day-to-day operations of the community's most valuable resources. Now, therefore, Mayor Joe Males of the City of Hemet, along with the Hemet City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of October 1st through October 9th, 2024 as Water Professional Appreciation Week, and urge all residents to recognize and appreciate the vital services provided by water professional agencies across all agencies.
I'll just thank you to the City Council for recognizing all the hard work that goes into providing healthy drinking water.
Thank you, sir. The first presentation will be for the Fire Department Open House presented by the Fire Chief Eddie Sale, or our new battalion chief, or is it commander or chief? Chief? Chief. Battalion chief. Okay.
Yes, sir. Good evening. How's everybody doing? My name is Efren Vargas, and I'm here just to talk a little bit about our open house. The open house is going to be held this weekend, Saturday, October 12th, here at our Station 1 from 10 to 1. I've been honored to put these together for the last 6 years now. I say honored because I growing up in the area, I attended these growing up. So, and I remember how impactful they were to me. So I try to reciprocate that and try to give that back. So it's a great way to connect with our community. It's a great way to educate our community. This is Fire Prevention Week, and excuse me. And we do that by activities. We have a few displays, we have a few demos, auto extrication demo, and a live fire, a vehicle fire, which is a big hit. We will have some bake sales, some raffles. So I hope to see you all there. Come Saturday, bring your friends, bring your families. So, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Got. You got it.
Thank you. The next presentation will be for the opening of the Police Department West Substation presented by Police Chief Michael Ariano.
Thank you. It's just a quick commercial. I think they have the flyer up there. I was just talking to residents from Del Webb. They had no idea about it, so I'm gonna send it to them through email, and they're gonna put it on their blast. So hopefully we'll see more people out there. But I hope to see as many people out there as possible. Please share it. Thursday, October 10th at 11 a.m. we'll be doing a grand opening of our West End substation. We used to have one in the Target Shopping Center a long time ago. The lease ran up, it closed. I think they're very essential. This is the beginning of a grand master plan of other places in the city. The East End, the Southeast End is very needed. So what it does, it just helps, it keeps the officers out there. We're gonna have our mental health teams out there actually inside that satellite station. We're going to have officers with everything they need to work out of it. That prevents them from having to come to the station to do the reports. It keeps them on that end of town, so quicker, faster response. But it's going to be fun. It'll be open house. You can walk through, talk about, we'll have some drones out there. Maybe some of the dogs will be out there. So please join us that night, that day. It'll be fun. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, sir. The final presentation will be for the election update on polling locations presented by the City Clerk, John Paul Meyer.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council, and esteemed public that are in the audience today and at home. I wanted to provide a quick overview of our election page on the City Clerk tab. So it's really easy to find at hemetca.gov. And the purpose of tonight's information is just to go a little over voter education and a couple topics related to the vote centers and additional information for the upcoming election and a few important dates at the end. And so without further ado, I wanted to take you to hemetca.gov. If you click up here, the government tab under administration, and then the city clerk page, you'll find a dedicated page for the November 5th, 2024 general municipal election. There is information based, going over what seats are open. And if I scroll down here a little bit, you'll also see the candidates with additional filings that you can review so that you get, additional information. In addition to the candidates that are up for election and district offices, there's a Measure N as well. We also have a separate dedicated page for that information, and you can find all of the information, including arguments in opposition and support. I'm going to scroll back to the top of the page for the members at home as well. We also, yesterday actually updated the city's website with the vote centers from the Registrar of Voters. And so the city of Hemet is participating in early voting ballot drop-off locations. And so City Hall is a ballot drop-off location where you can submit your ballots starting from yesterday when ballots have been mailed to November 5th. We'll be receiving ballots on election day from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And from the period of present to November 4th, will be receiving ballots from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., which are regular business hours. So that's a short summary of ballot drop-off locations. There's a couple here highlighted. The main one that I'll highlight is the Hemet Public Library, of course, because that's our city facility. And these two locations are very popular. The last couple updates on the election are your last day to register to vote or transfer registration is October 21st, 2024. So if you've moved recently, October 21st is the last day to transfer your voter registration. And then, like I mentioned earlier, mail ballots have been mailed out on October 7th. So you should be receiving your ballots in the mail in the coming week. That's my short update on the election, and thank you for allowing me some voter education.
Thank you, sir. We will now move to the receive and file reports. Are there any questions regarding the City of Hemet warrant registers? If not, we will receive and file the items. Anyone? Okay. So we will receive and file reports. Next, we will move to the consent calendar. All consent calendar items will be acted upon simultaneously unless requested by an individual council member for separate consideration. Are there any members of the council that would like to pull any consent items for separate consideration?
I'd like to pull item 16D.
16B?
D is in
Oh,
dog.
D as in dog, okay. Anyone else? No? No? No. No? Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the items on the remaining items?
I'll make a motion to approve all the items except for
16D.
16D.
Can I get a second?
Second.
City Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Council, please cast your votes. I have a motion by Councilmember Lilienthal, second by Councilmember Krupa, and that's to approve the consent calendar with the removal of item 16D for separate consideration. Just missing a vote by Councilmember Lilienthal. That motion passes 5-0.
16D, please.
For full transparency, I just wanted to state that Chambers Group is a group that I utilize in my day job as a peer review consultant. And Helix, we have hired them to do work on some of our capital improvement projects. At my day job, I did talk with the city attorney, and there doesn't appear to be a conflict, but
Yeah, I can confirm that. After speaking with the council member, both Helix Environmental and Chambers Group are both retained by the city of Beaumont, another public agency. There's not appear to be a financial relationship or conflict of interest with the council member as an individual. So I don't see any need to recuse yourself or refrain from voting on the item, council member.
so with that, I will move for approval of item 16D.
Second, please.
Second.
Council, please cast your votes. I have a motion by Councilmember Kendrick, second by Councilmember Lilienthal. That motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Next, we will move to the discussion action item 17A. Our first discussion item will be 17A. Can we have a staff presentation, please?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I'm presenting the staff report and seeking your direction on two key items related to the upcoming November 5th, 2024 election regarding statewide ballot measures. The staff report provides an opportunity for an additional voter education regarding the statewide measures and a discussion for the city council to provide input on statewide ballot measures. Tonight's discussion includes the recommended actions as follows. adopting a resolution to approve the city's official position on various state propositions on the November 2024 ballot. And then secondly, a second resolution, adopt a resolution supporting Proposition 36, the Homelessness, Drug Addiction, and Theft Reduction Act. In this upcoming election, California voters will be voting for president, U.S. Senator, representatives in U.S. Congress, the state legislature, and then locally will be residents will have the opportunity to vote for city treasurer, city council member, district offices, and the proposed Measure N. California voters will be also deciding on 10 state propositions that are explained in the report. A detailed summary of each proposition, including advocacy positions from the League of California Cities, the League of Women Voters of California, the Secretary of State, and other key resources. Those have all been provided for review. What staff is seeking for review and direction from tonight is the council on how the council would like to proceed with each of these propositions. The League of California Cities is comprised of 433 cities, which provides stances on state legislature. Hemet is a member of the League of Cities. The League has taken a support position on Propositions 4, 5, and 36. The League of California Cities has also requested that a support position be taken separately for Proposition 36, and that's why the staff report provides two different resolutions for your discussion. And that Proposition 36 is related to homelessness, drug addiction, and theft reduction. A couple of options of how tonight's discussion could look like. You may take each resolution, providing a separate motion for each resolution. You can also approve, with one motion for both resolutions. And then an alternative motion could be that you could go through each proposition, discuss each measure, and then provide a motion for each position. And so those are the few options that you have for discussion. And I'm available here for any questions that you might have.
Anyone have any questions or direction? I believe we're a nonpartisan group here, or council, and the only one I can see that I would think we should vote on, because 36 is important for the homeless situation and the theft and drug situation that's in our city. So that's pretty important. But the other ones I don't know about. If you guys have any information, let me know.
If I may, I would agree with you that I think an affirmative position on 36 is something we should do. I went through all of these, and I personally disagree with several of them that the league is supporting. But so, I mean, yeah, I disagree with six of the positions here. So the league may be endorsing them and supporting them, but I don't necessarily think bond issues are a good thing for the state of California.
Bonds aren't good, so.
Are enough in debt now, and we have so many outstanding bonds that haven't been fulfilled that we have voted on for years and years and years and years, and nothing has happened with them. So anyway, that's my personal opinion, but I do think we should hear everybody's opinion on Prop 36 and take a position on that.
I took quite a bit of time on this item, and I even opened up links that were in them to hear the pros and cons besides what was written there. And on number 4, which is the safe drinking water, wildfire prevention, and climate risks, Cal Cities said yes, but the opponents say it should be funded within our own current state budget. There's no proven technology for success. It lacks accountability and standards for measuring it. So I did not say yes on that one. I wanted to hear what everybody else said, but me personally, I would say no on that one.
I would agree with that too.
I'm sorry?
Bonds are not necessarily, it's like putting the debt on the future.
Yeah.
And
more debt.
I wouldn't support something like that. So I would agree with the sentiments instead of repeating them all.
I concur myself because they can't spend the money they have now correctly. Why give them more to throw out and waste? So,
Do we want to go through each of them
no.
line by line? No? Okay.
So definite yes from everybody on 36
Oh, yeah, definitely.
and a definite no on 4. Proposition 4.
I think Linda, you and me already said no on that one, so.
Yeah, I think I haven't heard from you over here, Carol. What do you think on number 4?
I agree with my colleagues.
Okay, so no on 4. Make a motion or do we have to make a motion?
So council, we have a separate resolution prepared for Prop 36. So that was what the league requested, perhaps anticipating a similar discussion to this. So if we could get a motion and a vote
On number
on the
2?
resolution just on 36,
36.
that'd be appreciated. And then, if you're not intending to support any of the others, there's no need to actually take action on the other reso. You could
Okay.
just table it if you wanted to. That's also an option if you'd like.
So
Yeah, as I said, personally, I have a no on 6 of them.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Same here.
It's like, yeah, no.
So let's make a motion then on the number 2 option for 36.
I'll make a motion that this council, what are we doing? We're adopting, yes. Number 2, yes, on Prop 36, support of the
Okay.
lead position.
Carol?
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Krupa, second by Councilmember Kendrick. Council, please cast your votes. That motion passes 5-0 to approve support of Prop 36, the second resolution.
I think. So we won't take action on option 1 then, correct?
I don't know that we could agree on. Of course, all you need is majority, right?
Yeah, you only need 3.
That's true. If you did want to go through and take positions or no positions on each individual proposition, you could. Or alternatively, you could table that resolution and call it a day. It's up to you.
Table. Yeah. Make a motion.
Okay, with that.
I'll make a motion to table it.
Second.
I'll second it.
Procrastination.
Council, please cast your votes. I have a motion by Councilmember Lilienthal, second by Mayor Pro Tem Peterson to table the resolution.
Okay, thank you for your for the presentation. Are there, okay, we did that. We already seconded it. Let's move on to item 17B. Can we have a staff presentation, please? Is that you two?
Yes.
Oh, that's you. Okay.
I will be giving the staff presentation on item 17B. As the council will recall, the mayor had requested that our office prepare an ordinance regarding prohibition on government-sponsored unsanctioned transport of homeless persons, where we're calling it anti-drop-off ordinance. This ordinance was initiated following some unsavory events that occurred in the city of Santa Cruz, where the city of Santa Cruz Police Department actually observed police officers from another jurisdiction that was over 3 hours away, dropping off a disabled homeless woman in their city who had no ties to the city, no family there, no friends there. She did not have a verified place to stay. They dropped her off in the parking lot of the Salvation Army, which wasn't open yet, and left her there. So this is something that we heard occurs in the state of California. This is one of the first times where we have verifiable, uncontroverted evidence that it occurred. So the city of Santa Cruz, after considering this, developed essentially the text of the ordinance that we have in front of you today. The mayor had requested that our office prepare an ordinance for Hemet as well. Hemet is an older city in the county of Riverside, so there are a lot of government services located in the city that aren't present in other more newly developed communities, making the city of Hemet uniquely susceptible to that type of unsanctioned government transport of individuals who are experiencing homelessness. And so this puts a prohibition in place on other government entities from transporting and leaving an individual on public or private property accessible to the public within the city of Hemet when that person lacks a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. There are specific exceptions. For example, transporting someone to a hospital, transporting someone to jail, transporting someone to a homeless shelter or temporary housing where that person has been verified to be accepted and they will be residing at the facility, and other similar exceptions. I wanted to point out, because I did get a question about this, that the language of the ordinance specifically includes agents of those government entities. So, for example, if a government were to contract with a third party, a private third party, and have that private third party transport, that would be covered by the language of this ordinance. Happy to answer any questions if the council has it. This is before you for first reading. If the council approves the language as is, I'd request a motion to approve the item for first reading and ask the city clerk to set it for second reading and adoption at our next regular meeting on the consent calendar. Thank you, council.
I had the question regarding no law enforcement officer, agent, or employee of a county. So, attorney, you believe that that's okay? Because we had discussed like just saying any person, because they could probably be paying somebody under the table that's not an employee or an agent.
So as it is framed now, this prohibition applies to other government entities, because that was the concern that specifically came up in the city of Santa Cruz, which was you had some jurisdictions that were attempting to, for lack of a better term, solve their local homelessness problem by transporting homeless individuals to other communities that are perceived as having more services or perhaps being friendlier to the homeless population. However, as every single one of you knows who's worked on the homelessness issue, homelessness is a regional, it is a statewide issue, and you do not solve it at the local level by shifting it to your neighbors. So this is primarily aimed at other government actors, but correct, if the council wanted this ordinance to be applicable generally to any person, you would strike from law enforcement officer all the way to their official capacity and simply insert the word person there. For that one, this ordinance was aimed specifically at other government entities that were engaging in this behavior, so it is limited in that respect. If you wanted to expand it, that's how you do it. And it would be applicable to any private person.
What if it's an individual that works for a health organization or some type of a government organization and they do it in their personal car and drop them off here?
So it does cover the agents of other government entities. So you and employees. So it doesn't say that whether you're in your personal car or not, if you're doing it on behalf of a government agency, you're covered by the current language.
Let me ask a question based on an actual scenario that I was privy to at a Continuum of Care meeting, which was a nonprofit saying, I wanted to take these people to Hemet because Hemet has facilities and services, but they didn't really want to go, so I was in a dilemma. Now, this is a nonprofit saying they're going to take homeless people to Hemet, and as you know, the only really residential care we have is Valley Restart, but of course that also leads to the voucher program. Now, since they're a member of the Continuum of Care, does that put them in the government category?
So I think that in terms of enforcement, you'd have to look at what program was the nonprofit running. I don't think simply being part of the Continuum of Care necessarily has the hook, but for example, in our case, right, we have private contractors who are operating under government contracts with the city of Hemet to engage and assist homeless individuals. I think they would be acting as agents on behalf of the city of Hemet for the purposes of a similar ordinance in another jurisdiction.
So if they were bringing them here through the Continuum of Care for the voucher program in our hotels, because we have motels and some cities don't. Would that fall under this ordinance?
I think that if they were acting on behalf of the government agency, yes, unless they fell within the exception where they have independently verified that they are going to be accepted to reside. The issue that is being solved by this ordinance is not necessarily someone coming to Hemet and going into a facility that has room and space for them.
Right.
The issue that's being addressed by this ordinance is bringing someone here and dropping them off, and you don't know if they're
Against
gonna-
it, totally
going to be
against their
accepted,
will.
right? And so, we may not have room at that particular moment in time to assist an individual, especially an individual coming from another jurisdiction where, we modeled our program and we sized it for the size of our homeless population here in Hemet, not to solve the regional problem of homelessness. So I think it would. I do think if you struck that qualifying language that we put there and you made it no person, I think it's very simple at that point, because then you don't have to prove that they were working for this government agency or not. You only have to show that they in fact transported and dropped somebody off here who did not have a place to reside, and they knew that.
Go ahead.
My mind was going on this one, and I was like, okay, so we have bad doctors, we have bad lawyers, we have bad politicians, okay? So what if a politician in his city wanted all the glory to clean out all the homeless, and he paid somebody under the table to take the homeless out? Nobody would know about that except him and the person that he hired to do that. So in that case, it would just be what we say, the white van dropping off people. So this way, if you did any person, then it would cover that.
And that is a big concern, especially in the state of California now, where you can disrupt encampments. And a few of them that come to light is the mayor of San Francisco, who says, I'm busting these people out of town. I don't care where they go, but I'm getting them out of town. And also the city of San Diego is running into the situation where they have their total of 700 beds that area is being developed. So they're losing 700 homeless beds, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do and where to put people.
I know
So
that-
there's different issues that arise from this. And if we're going to do an ordinance for humanitarian reasons, which it really is, let's make sure we get the wording right.
Understood. And I can tell you that in terms of city attorney conversations, a lot of us who represent Inland Empire communities are very concerned about the upcoming Olympics in Los
Right.
Angeles.
Absolutely.
Los Angeles is under an incredible amount of pressure to clean up the town and make it more presentable. I know that there are already portions of, for example, Skid Row that are unrecognizable now than they were even a few months ago. The sidewalks are clean. They're putting planters and other objects out there to disrupt your ability to set up encampments along the sidewalk. So they're starting, and they're not building more shelters. So those individuals are going somewhere. And I think that an ordinance like this if everyone had one like this, it would encourage all the jurisdictions to resolve it locally and regionally at the same time, and not attempt to, like you said, inhumanely transport individuals. The disabled woman in the Santa Cruz situation specifically did not want to go to Santa Cruz, but she essentially felt that she had been abducted by these Hansford Department police officers. And so you're right. It's not humane to take someone and drop them off in a community where they have no ties and they don't have a verified place to live.
I just want to make sure we get it right. Get the wording right.
Where are we gonna add persons at?
So it would be on page 1049 of your packet
You're going to save the rest.
for those keeping score.
Didn't read that far.
Subsection B1.
Okay.
It currently reads, no law enforcement officer, agent, or employee of a county, of another city, or of any other government entity, when acting in their official capacity, shall transport and drop off an individual on public property. And then it continues. And if you amended it, as the Mayor Pro Tem suggested, it would simply say, no person shall transport and drop off an individual on public property or private property that is accessible to the public in the city of Hemet. And then,
That covers everybody.
Also, then you would strike no law enforcement officer.
yeah, you would strike law
Okay.
enforcement officer all the way to their official capacity, and you'd replace it with the word person.
Okay.
So we change it, would have to be read next time as a first reading then
No.
with a change? No, so.
No,
we
no, you
change
can amend it now and it'll be read as a second reading next
Okay,
time.
let's do that.
Any further discussion?
Let me read the rest of it just to make sure that there's no other changes that need to be made that would ensure that, we're doing what you'd like here. Okay, I think that's it. I did also, just as a note, the language of the ordinance makes violation of this a misdemeanor, punishable by 6 months in jail and a fine of up to $1,000, although the city attorney is authorized to charge it as an infraction, depending on the facts and circumstances that present themselves in that case. I can tell you that change will make enforcement easier because now I don't have to prove that they're a government agent. We just have to prove that they did it.
Does it matter if they're dropped off in the daytime?
It does not.
Because you have nighttime residents.
Right. So that we are working on a definition of what a homeless person is, and that would be that they lack a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. It has to be meant for habitation. So if you go to B2, which is on the next page, page 1050, it gives you the definition of what lacks a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence is. So that means that their primary nighttime residence is a public or private place not meant for habitation. So that could be an individual who resides in a park, resides in a storm channel, or who maybe resides in a storage facility. For example, we've had individuals who reside in a storage facility that's not intended for habitation. They live in a publicly or privately operated shelter that provides temporary living arrangements, including congregate shelters, traditional housing, and hotels or motels paid for by government programs, including this one. If you are living in a motel under the voucher program from the city, you're still homeless because you don't have a fixed regular nighttime residence. The city is paying for you to live in temporary lodging. Or is exiting an institution where they resided for 90 days or less and who resided at an emergency shelter or place not meant for human habitation immediately before entering that institution. So this reflects both individuals who are maybe leaving county jail or who may be leaving some other like sober living facility or some other situation like that. But they went into that institution being homeless and now they're coming out and they don't have a place to go.
I will trying to find where it says, okay, then I'll just move it on and make that motion to approve this, striking the no law enforcement officer, agent, or employee of a county or another city or of any other governmental entity and then replace it with person.
When acting in their official capacity and then replace it with person. So B1 will now read in its entirety, no person shall transport and drop off an individual on public or private property that is accessible to the public within the city of Hemet when the person being transported and dropped off lacks a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence.
I'll second it.
So what's gonna happen then is they're gonna drop them off in the county part of Hemet.
They may. Our jurisdiction extends to our borders.
Yeah.
I think that you will see laws like this. I think you'll see other jurisdictions in the county begin to adopt it, just like we did with other issues.
All right, so we had a motion and a second. Voting time.
Council, I'll do a voice roll call on this. We have a motion by Councilmember Lilienthal, second by Mayor Pro Tem Peterson. as the ordinance as amended. Councilmember Kendrick,
Yes.
Councilmember Krupa,
Yes.
Councilmember Lilienthal,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Peterson,
Yes.
Mayor Males.
Yes.
That motion passes as amended. And then for the record, I'll read the ordinance title. And that's to introduce the ordinance for first reading by title only, waive full reading of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hemet, California, adding sections 53-10 to the Hemet Municipal Code, prohibiting government-sponsored, unsanctioned transport of homeless persons. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your presentation. We will now move on to city council and staff reports. Oh, I'm Councilmember Krupa.
Okay, I've got a lot to make up for since I wasn't here last time.
You know, we can be brief. I'd appreciate it to everyone.
Hey, it's not even 9 o'clock yet. Come on.
Oh, I know.
Okay, the library. Tomorrow is story time at 3:30, and the topic is firefighter with a special guest. So I'm assuming maybe either a firefighter, a fire chief, or maybe Sparky will be over there for children's reading time. League of California Cities, as you all know, we will be attending the conference in another week or so. The policy committee that I am a member of, which is Governance, Transparency, and Labor Relations, has brought forth a resolution for the General Assembly. Many cities have signed on to it. We had a meeting last week to go over details on the whole thing, because it was the resolution that has been presented was quite aggressive, to say the least, in its wording. It has been toned down, but if it passes resolutions committee at the league, it will be coming before the General Assembly. And the resolution speaks to a resolution of California cities calling for the California legislature to enact laws that ensure that, quote, what applies to one applies to all, and to end the practice of enacting do as I say, not as I do, codes of conduct imposed on city and county elected officials, which basically is saying state legislators were kind of tired of you imposing rules and regs on county and city electeds that don't pertain to yourself. Brown Act is one of them, one of many. We talked about this, did a whole lot of wordsmithing, took out words like hypocrisy and top-down authoritarianism and all sorts of things like that, and have finalized something that we felt was more palatable, but was getting the message across at the same time. So this will be going to the resolutions committee. That's made up of many different other people from all the other policy committees. And if they decide it is worthwhile to go to a vote of the General Assembly, then I believe Carol is the primary this year. They should be getting the information out to all the delegates sometime Wednesday afternoon, if that indeed is that it's going to come. And I'm sure if it does, well, it'll be after our luncheon. But anyway, it's something to be considered. We felt there was nothing that was real argumentative, in that it was just that if all the cities in California say, this is what we want, and we elect you guys, maybe it's time to start paying attention to, you know, if this is what you think should be done, you need to apply it to yourselves as well as to apply it to everybody else. So anyway, it was an exciting thing. With RTA, at the last meeting, we approved the design build of the first hydrogen cell fueling station for RTA, which will be in Riverside. And as soon as that is complete, we will be starting one at the Hemet facility. The 2 weeks ago, I believe it was,
the last weekend in September on Thursday and Friday. I went with Southern California Association of Governments down on a 2-day trip to the Imperial Valley to visit the geothermal plants and the proposed Lithium Valley lithium extraction development that will be going on down there. On Thursday night, we actually participated in a League of California Cities general meeting in Westmoreland, and then went down and spent the night in El Centro, and then came back up to Brawley. They only have 7 cities in Imperial County. Anyway, it was warm, very, very warm out there. But the geothermal plants are really amazing energy source from how they have dug down to use the very hot water under pressure to power electricity out there. I mean, it's really thoroughly clean energy. But they're proposing the lithium extraction because the minerals that come out at the same time, they can extract the lithium and then send everything back down in, but put it over into kind of like a drying pond or a cooling pond. The really exciting things about it is the technology that is being developed, in that it is not the open pit mining or the huge drying fields that they have down in South America. One of the issues that has not been addressed yet that came up from members of this Regional Council of SCAG was the hazardous byproduct that lithium has with batteries, and the problems of disposing of them. So while it's environmentally friendly, what they're proposing to bring it out, solutions are not over here yet. So it's a work in progress. They are working with UCR and with SDSU in training engineers and chemists and all of that good stuff for the next generation coming forward. But it was really an interesting thing that they're doing, which will be economically boomtown for Imperial County. But at the same time, there are many of us who have a lot of reservations on disposal techniques and how do you recycle lithium batteries without harming our planet even more than it is. So what else? Fun things that I did. Went to MSJC's opening of their STEM building. The mayor and mayor pro tem were there, and it was an exciting thing. You can elaborate more. And I also went to a meeting at Eastern Municipal Water District last week on the Delta Conveyance project. And that's the tunnels that have been proposed, bringing Bay water down to Southern California and protecting the Bay Area at the same time. And, it went from 1 tunnel to 2 tunnels, and then there's all this endangered species stuff. They're settling on a 1 tunnel type thing. And Southern California is a big player in this just because of Metropolitan Water and the number of votes that Metropolitan has in the funding. So it's going to be interesting whether or not the legislature goes for this, whether Metropolitan actually votes in the affirmative. And most of the money has been set aside. Metropolitan's putting up a large amount of it. And then there's bond issues that that we've passed that we need to do these things. So it'll be interesting. So in one other thing, and Malcolm can touch on this also, Arts and Council, we had submitted a grant proposal to California Parks for our March of the Mastodons. We were not selected. However, we did a phone call feedback with Veronica and Jennifer O'Farrell and Malcolm and I last week, and they gave us good input on what areas that they felt we could improve, and a lot of it was with specifics within the budget.
So we're going to be pulling that all together and applying for the second round, which will be in 2025, and get all of our mastodons in a row and start marching. So that is all I have.
Thank you. Carol Kendrick, council member, please.
On September 27th, I attended the Hemet West Battery event. We were going in and checking smoke alarms and changing batteries. So it was a great event. Our firefighters were helping install new smoke alarms that were purchased. And so it just was a very good event, and getting to help these people was, like I said, it's pretty rewarding. On Monday, I did attend the Riverside Conservation Authority Board of Directors meeting. The highlights now are on reserve. So they did highlight the McElhaney Stimmel Reserve that's in the county north of French Valley. It's approximately 530 acres. But one of the items on the agenda was the Crotches Bumblebee. So in 2019, the California Fish and Game Commission provided notice that 4 bumblebee species were candidates for listing. They're under review with the commission. This species is not covered by the Western Riverside County MSHCP, nor was it covered during, okay, my computer is acting a little crazy here. Nor was it covered when the MSHCP was prepared in the 2000s. And this is the first time in the 20-year history of the MSHCP that a newly listed species, state or federal, was not covered by the MSHCP. So there are 4 bees that are identified. It is the Crotches Bumblebee, which is named after a gentleman, last name Crotch. And then I know there was many jokes to be had on Monday afternoon. The Franklin Bumblebee, the Western Bumblebee, and the Suckley's Cuckoo Bumblebee. I don't make up these names. And so there was a lot of discussion on that, and we are the RCA is waiting to be advised by California Department of Fish and Wildlife to delay amending the MSHCP until a final determination is made by the commission. So we'll stay tuned on that. And then today, right before closed session, I was at the Old Olympics Banquet Award Ceremony. So Mayor Pro Tem Valerie Vandeveer of San Jacinto and we passed out medals for a couple hours. Some of the events and some of the accomplishments that the people participating is amazing. The bench pressing, I feel like everyone I put a medal on is a lot more active than me, and it was making me kind of sad about myself. So they were, it was very impressive, and a lot of medals. And then I just had a couple other things to bring up. I know I've brought up a couple times, but the In-N-Out keeps coming up. So if like I said, we can get updates on that. And then I did have a resident reach out. I encouraged him to come to city council and speak, but he asked that I bring this up, but he's asking for updates on Park Avenue between English and Dartmouth. Apparently, he's reporting that they're in poor condition. So I'm just putting that out there, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Malcolm Lilienthal, council member, please.
Can you say the streets again?
It's Park Avenue between English and Dartmouth.
So when it comes to arts and culture, they were talking about, or that Macedon grant, they were talking about we need a stronger focus on long-term engagement and like looking at a multi-touch experience because we were just gonna have like a single day event. Um, they felt that it limited the community's interaction and sustained engagement. And then they noted that while the budget had a lot of line items, it appeared to be it lacked alignment with the broader objectives of engagement and sustainability, and they wanted clearer justifications for certain costs and more transparency. And then they talked about, you know, the one day, and then they wanted to see if we could break down the budget with justifications for each cost, especially regarding community engagement and the educational components. That would be helpful and that would kind of raise our score. And then ensuring that each cost item is transparently linked to a specific project goal. And then another thing they had brought up was when we installed the mastodons anywhere, like if they found a permanent home, they were talking about how would they be maintained after that. And we didn't really spell that out in the thing. So that, you know, there was, I think, 233 applicants. And so it was a limited funds. It was like one of those situations where we had to vote for not funding the one cancer, I forgot, Michelle's Place or something like that. It was something similar to that. I had the opportunity to attend Canyon Lake State of the City. A cool thing that I heard from them that they did was they funded some coupons within for their, okay, so it's like we get a coupon book for all of our restaurants in the city of Hemet, and then we subsidize all of the residents in Hemet who buy a coupon book, for example, and so that those people will be encouraged to stay within the boundaries of Canyon Lake to spend their money. And that I thought that was a really cool incentive to kind of bring back to council to see what their thoughts are about that. Us finding money or whatever that we could use to support. And then so it's almost like recycling. The idea was recycling money. So we use taxpayer money to subsidize these things, but it's going right back into the community and right back to us out of sales tax revenue. And then the same day earlier, I missed the Student of the Month celebration at Saboba because I attended the Partnering for Progress Workforce Strategy Forum that MSJC put on. And something that they were kind of talking about was how can MSJC support the communities of Hemet and San Jacinto as far as education is concerned. And I'll just be transparent, and I offered an opinion that I thought, I don't necessarily know that the citizens of Hemet, that education is on the forefront of their minds. I think our citizens are more about survival. And so then that, you know, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs was brought up because we have people here who are just trying to make money today and they're not necessarily future oriented. So thinking about college or having these aspirations in the future. So I asked the forum to see if they can bridge the gap between something like that, because Temecula, Marietta, Menifee, they were all present and they had a whole different narrative about this. And I'm like, I don't know if Hemet is at that level yet. We have a lot of people here who are struggling to make ends meet, where the kids got to go to work, and I don't know if everyone's at this point where we're thriving and not just surviving, whereas in these other jurisdictions, I'm not going to say they're thriving more than us, but they have more of a capacity to be forward oriented, thinking about professions and stuff like that. And so I was like, if we could bring this back to Hemet and San Jacinto and kind of pull the community as to, are my claims legitimate? That education may not be on the forefront of our minds. And then how do we educate the community that it's something as simple as, because I had brought up that I've met several kids here who have never seen the beach. And we're an hour and a half. So that's a sidestep, but I was thinking, how do I get, or how do I bridge the gap between a student or a young person thinking about, I could be a doctor, or I could be I can add if I wanted to go into a profession, but if I didn't want to go into a profession, where do I have the gap bridged so I can go into a trade school? Having those types of, I think him and San Antonio has to have those type of conversations versus, oh, hey, you can, like more focused on the like going to college and stuff like that. It's like, here is what you can do, but bridging that gap between, because if I don't have, when we did that principle of the day, a little girl walked up to me and said, you're a council member? I think at the time I was the mayor, but you're a council member? And I'm like, yes. And she goes, you have the same skin as me. And then she was started telling me that, like, so does that mean I can be a council member? Like I was telling MSJC, we have to have like those kinds of conversations and within this community, because I don't even know if they believe that they could be a doctor when everyone that mostly looks like them are not doctors. Does that make sense? So that was kind of like my feedback. Like if we can get in there like that, and then it's almost like you're instilling hope in people that you could do that, because just because you have a darker skin or whatever, like you can still be a doctor, you can still be an engineer, you can still be, a statistician, you can all kinds of professions out there. But if you don't want to go to college, you can also do trade schools. There's all kinds of other things too. And so they really appreciated that, because they didn't take that in consideration when they were generating the forum. And so that was pretty much what I had to offer.
Can I ask a question on that? It was just electeds that was invited to this? Were there school district people there?
Yeah.
Because that's some of the problems that we have when we as electeds get invited to things that people from school districts aren't necessarily included, and they're the ones that are working with the kids and trying to bridge that gap. And if we're not aware of what the school district is doing to bridge to the college, then we're the ones that basically are left out of the equation.
Yeah.
And
unfortunately, our school district wasn't there.
Not there.
But
yeah.
They wanted, it wasn't like a one-time thing. They wanted to do series. And so I was like, include this aspect, because you guys are at this level for Menifee to Marietta and Temecula, but I'm not sure Hemet is at the same level or caliber as far as feeling like they're thriving, rather than, people, it's like everybody's just here surviving. And I don't know if I would be forward thinking if I was just surviving.
Fine.
No, that's it.
Yep. Thank you. We all went to the chamber mixer. I was thinking that we had already talked about that at our last meeting, but I look at the calendar and it still fell in this 2 weeks. Yeah. So there was a really good Chamber of Commerce mixer at the Hemet Theater, and all five of us were there, and it was a special send up. I know by the time it gets to you and I, we don't have as much, but I do have a lot tonight. So we were all there, and it was a special send off to Cindy Lemke, and it was like a big party, and it was just a wonderful event. And Alexander from the theater had a chance again to tell the public about their vision and their innovative ideas that they want to update and remodel the theater, and the city's going to be a little part of that. So it was interesting to hear him talk again, because he's very enthusiastic and excited about the possibilities of what it may become. And it was really nice. Cindy appreciated it, and it was, like I said, it was like a big party. So it was fun. Good news. Okay, so Public Works Director Noah Rao and I had a Caltrans meeting last week, okay? And we discussed the possibility of a meeting between Caltrans and the Hemet Police Department to find a solution to the traffic problem around In and Out. So there's a police officer, I did not catch his name. I don't remember if no one knows it, but he had contacted Hassam, right? Hassam from Caltrans. And he said, we want to work with you. What can we do? So Hassam was saying that they need an ordinance from the city. And Noah said he thought we already had some kind of an ordinance. So they're checking on that. So we're making a baby step and trying to find a solution to in and out and the traffic problem around there. So that was a good thing. Something like that, yeah. I didn't get into all the legalities, but that's what he was saying, that we had to have some kind of an ordinance, and I don't know. Nope, we'll get more information from Noah. So we just touched on that real briefly. So Highway 74 construction from Winchester to Lion Road was recently completed, and they did smooth out a lot of the bumps in town that everybody's happy with. Unfortunately, it wasn't soon enough, and Noah has been in close contact with them through this whole process and has given a lot of feedback. So we're hoping that the next section, which will be Lion to Fairview, they'll be making improvements in how they're doing sections and evening out and maybe more signage and warnings. You know, so we're hoping that it'll not be as detrimental to our residents as the first section that they did in town. So I've been noticing a sign for Gilman Springs Road. You take this road all the time. This Gilman Springs Road exit.
I tried to go to the dentist this morning in Riverside and it was like a 45-minute delay. So I just turned around and went to work.
Well, that sign for the exit there for Gilman Springs Road, some big semi or something ran into it months ago, and it just looks bad. And to me, it's just ugly and unsightly, and it's another bad impression coming into our valley. So I asked them if they would fix that. And this morning, I got a photo from them, and it said, "Is this the sign you're talking about?" And I said, "Yes, yes, this is the one. Fix it." So hopefully. So I went to the STEM building ribbon cutting also, and I did not know this, but it's been years and years and years they've been trying to complete this, and it's gone through different governors and leadership, and they finally got it done, and it's beautiful. It's a 40 million state-of-the-art facility. And we have it right here in our valley, and it's just going to be such a great asset. So that was good. On the business ad hoc front, Mayor Males and I attended the regional chamber mixer at South Coast Winery, and it highlighted a lot of regional businesses and nonprofits. And we got some good little pointers from there, met a lot of good people in that. And along with that, we did the second half of the mall last week, the business walk. We only got through the first half 2 months ago, and now this last week, we finished it. And we always get really good feedback from the businesses, and through that, we've gotten some changes that have helped our small businesses and that. So we're trying to have some more events at the mall to give them more visibility. And we're already thinking about that. And I know the city manager has a couple of good ideas on that too. So I went to the Student of the Month, as the mayor did, and we always hear really great stories from these kids. And it is amazing. Like this last time, I know he's crossing out everything. So this last time, you know, sometimes you hear like a couple hardship stories. This last time, it's like everybody had gone through so much in their life to get where they were. And some of it was in a very short amount of time. They were transfer students and they came in like 3 years ago or 1 year ago. And this one kid didn't know anybody, didn't do anything. He was real shy and everything. And he got in one extracurricular thing. Now he's like a star at the school, and he just got there a year ago, I think. Brand new. And he's in all these different things. And it's just wonderful to hear good stuff like that. So yesterday was Western Riverside Council of Government meeting, which is WRCOG. So I learned a couple new tips for their Love Your Neighborhood program. So we can get more supplies from them throughout the year. We just had Hemet Beautiful earlier this year, and they gave us a lot of supplies like the little pickers and gloves and trash bags and all that. But we can do that. And there's they'll give it to nonprofits, families, anybody. There's DIY kits. So you don't have to have a really big event. And I asked them, I said, well, what about our Adopt a Street thing? And the gal that's the head of that, Olivia, she says, yeah, we can give you some supplies for that. So now if people want to adopt a street, which we're trying to encourage, and we've made good progress in this last year, they won't have to buy the supplies. We're hoping, yeah. So they'll help us with that. And she had a couple more good tips. So I'm gonna get some more information on that. This is important for our residents. There's an annual PACE Unclaimed Hero Funds. And I know you don't know what that means. So, so PACE assessments are paid as a secured line item on the property tax bill, which is due twice a year. If a property owner prepays or pays off the assessment before the tax bill is due, and the county cannot make a correction to remove or adjust the PACE amount, this leads to an overpayment of the PACE 300 assessment. In such cases, property owners are entitled to a refund, which is issued by WRCOG after the counties disperse the collected funds. Most refunds are processed in February after the first installment and in June after the second installment. Hemet right now currently has 18 households with a total of $44,530 due back to our residents. So there's a website that they can go to. It's called www.claimit.ca.gov. And it's not just for this program. You can go on there. You may have like an inheritance that you don't even know about. And you can go on there and see if you have free money. So again, it's www.claimit.ca.gov and see if you can find your name on there. You might get some money. And I want us to put this out like in our city update and that, and maybe with our social media and that, so people can see if it's $44,000. That's a lot of money to a lot of people. So yesterday was the Ramona Bowl meeting, and we have Boo at the Bowl will be on October 25th through the 27th, so Friday through Sunday. And there's pre-sale tickets are $10 and $12 at the door. And we're encouraging everybody to get them directly through the Ramona Bowl website, because then you don't have to pay a service charge, because otherwise if you do it the other way through Eventbrite, correct? eTix. Oh, it's eTix. That one's eTix. They charge you a service charge. So go directly to Ramona Bowl's website to get your tickets. And they're doing something different this year. You're going to get a wristband, and it's good for one time around the trick or treat trail, but unlimited access to the magic show, haunted house, carnival games, and more. And also this year, we're going to have a beer and wine area for the adults. So it's going to be different this year from what you've seen in the past. And volunteers are still needed, and candy donations would be very welcome. If you donate 2 pounds of singly wrapped candy, you get a free ticket. And there are drop-off sites and more info on their website. There's about a half dozen places, excuse me, that you can drop off the candy. I gotta have a drink. And the last thing is it's short. It's short.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
It's for you
Oh,
too.
short.
Okay. So the Veterans Memorial Ad Hoc, the mayor and I have been meeting on that. And we have 2 prospective veterans to add to the agenda for approval at our next meeting. And Veterans Day observation will be on November 11th at 9 o'clock at Gibble Park. And we hope to have 2 new names for the Veterans Memorial. So that concludes my report.
Wait, hold on. Are kids allowed to volunteer?
Oh, I'm sorry. They have to be accompanied though, right, Linda? At a certain age?
There's an age limit. I think if they're under 14. they
I
have
thought
to
it was
have-
14.
Have a parent with them to come up, but high school kids can volunteer and sign up in the different clubs and that, and parents can volunteer too.
I'll pitch it to the mentees.
Yeah, that would be good.
Absolutely. That's a good idea.
They can either call Ramona Bowl office, or if they go on the website, there's a form they can fill out to volunteer.
Okay, also, no one mentioned, what is that pre-meeting now? Oh, on September 25th, we had a State of the City pre-meeting with Alan Reyes, our media person. We went over the venue. The State of the City is going to be November 7th at the Hemet Library, starting at 5:30. Went to a mixer. Yep, got that. September, enjoyed ribbon cutting. Yep, we did that. September 28th, the meeting with Golden Era. Oh, we had the fishing tournament. Anyone mention that? Okay, at Golden Era, we had a fishing tournament that turned out really well. I think we had about 400 kids or somewhere around that. How many? 276. Wow, that was great. And that turned out really good. My grandson caught 2 fishes, but he didn't win because they were only a couple pounds. But anyways, it turned out good. I was there with Mayor Pro Tem Peterson. She fell out of the golf cart. She was riding in the back, and the driver just took off when she wasn't set yet. And she's been limping ever since. So she's hurting. So she's been to therapy and everything. So hopefully she gets better. We attended Student of the Month. Okay, that was finalized. Business walk. We finalized the business walk. Met with Alan Reyes and our media guru, or who is our media guru, on Veterans Day for November 11th. We have the etchings confirmed. He did get the person already confirmed, and that'll be Louis Morales and Richard Alvarado. Now, if anyone that's watching this, we have family members for Louis Morales, but Richard Alvarez, who passed away in 2021, or I believe it's 2021, and then his wife passed away the year after. So we don't have any contact with family, and I know his son John was calling bingo at the American Legion. So if anyone has the number, we need that for contacting the family, so they'll be there on November 11th. So if you can ask around at the Legion, that'd be great. We will be gone all next week, or most of the week, I believe, leaving on the 15th. Is everyone going here, all the council members? Yeah, for the Cal Cities event that they're having. And I believe we're all confirmed. Our city manager, you'll be there. Attorney, you'll be there.
The attorney will be there. The city manager will not.
Okay, great. Oh, somebody has to run the city. Good man. Okay, also, I was speaking with our chief of police today on all the hard work that we keep giving them, and more ordinances for them to have to follow, and with all the hard work they're doing. I wanted to get an annual event for the police, but then I talked to our city manager, and he mentioned, what about the fire? And I said, well, okay, well, we can have them too. And then he said, well, what about all employees? So we're looking into that, and I would like to set something on the agenda for us to create something for, I guess, all our city employees, so they can get together and with the families and all get to know each other and have something good. I did this with a business that I worked at. It was a pretty big business out in Irvine, but we had multiple places to go every year, choose from different venues. And it was great. We played football, we played softball. The kids, had their games that they played. And I think it would be good for city employees, but especially for our first responders. They need a getaway. So if we can add that maybe to next week's. Am I putting you to sleep? Just kidding. So anyways, I'd like to add that to the agenda. I know there was one more thing that we talked about, but I left my other phone at home, and I had all the information there. Do you recall what the second option was that I'll bring it up next meeting. Okay, but that's all I have for now. So We will continue. Let's see, there's no other further business. Okay, we have to have the city manager's information. City manager?
I do not have an update for you tonight.
Oh, that's right. You were on vacation all month. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so there being no further business, and this meeting is adjourned to the next city council meeting on October 22nd, 2024. Thank you all for joining us tonight. And thank you all for your brief detail.